So, Brian, we're starting to get a little technical here. Assume for the moment that a normal human being is trying to understand what we're talking about.
Mhm.
How might you make this a metaphor or make it easier to understand?
If I'm walking down the street in my neighborhood and my neighbor has their window open, and inside the window I can see what's something that's valuable, a DVD collection. I need to rethink my sense of value. But if that window's open and I text my buddy and I say, oh my gosh, Phil has his window open, his DVD collection is up for grabs, right? And if I say it joking or not, hopefully I'm not a criminal in this context. Did I break some sort of law, or is it unethical for me to point out that there's a vulnerability?
Well, that kind of depends on what DVDs you actually have in your collection.
It's up in the air. I think it comes down to what the intention is of the person that's sharing it. Shodan, haveibeenpwned.com. There's several services where they were created with very benevolent intention. And if I own that website, like as a person, I can look at that and say, wow, thank you for letting me know. I'm going to go fix that. That's the ideal response. But for large corporations, it can very quickly become, why are you looking at this? What are you doing? I think it's very nebulous. The answer, it's unclear. It's almost like trying to look inside somebody's head and try to understand what their intention was. Shodan I use, Have I Been Pwned I use, and I think they're great services and I'll continue to use them. I can see why people frown upon it as sharing potentially hurtful information, but I try to look at the positive and say, if these entities don't know about this hurtful information, how are they going to fix it?
Right. In the case of Have I Been Pwned, certainly they're not going to tell you the email and password combination. You can look up one or you can look up the other. I think one thing that I find to be a little bit jarring sometimes is with Shodan, for instance, it'll have the most popular searches and it'll say unprotected webcams right there. So it'll just give you a list of people whose webcams are just available to the entire internet on there. And to that extent, I think that might end up kind of going over the other line to enabling misuse